There's a moment when things get really hard, and most people don't realize it, but in that moment, you tell yourself a story. And that story will determine whether you push forward or shut it down. Not your fitness, not your skill, the story. And here's the part most people miss. That story usually isn't true. Last year, Graham and I rode from Calgary to Vancouver, both of us 61 years old. On day 6 of this trip, we hit Penasque Summit. If you know that climb, you know how long, steep, and relentless it is. It just keeps going. I remember vividly that my legs were burning, energy was dropping, and somewhere on that climb, the thought showed up. This might be too much today. And here's what's interesting. Nothing had changed. Same legs, same bike, same road. The only thing that changed was the story I was telling myself. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think performance is physical. It's not. Performance, especially under pressure, is psychological. In psychology, this connects to something called cognitive appraisal. It's the idea that it's not the situation that determines your response, it's how you interpret the situation. The same challenge can feel like a threat or a test, and your body responds differently depending on that interpretation. This shows up everywhere, not just on a climb. At work, when you hesitate to speak in a meeting, when you avoid a tough conversation, when you feel overwhelmed and pull back. The story becomes, I'm not ready. This isn't my strength. I'll deal with it later. And those stories quietly shape your results, your performance, and your confidence. At RTJ Wellness, this is one of the biggest shifts we work on with individuals and teams. Not eliminating stress, but helping people recognize and change the story attached to it. Because when the story changes, performance follows. Back on that climb, nothing changed externally. Still hard, still steep, but I caught the story and I replaced it with something simple. Just keep moving. This is what you trained for. And within minutes, everything shifted. Same body, different story, different outcome. That's the part most people miss. You don't always need more motivation, more discipline, or even more ability. Sometimes you just need a better story. So here's something worth thinking about. When things get hard, what story do you tell yourself? Because that story might be the difference between staying where you are or moving forward. And if this is something you've never really thought about before, it's worth paying attention to, because it shows up more often than you think. If this message resonated with you and you're interested in learning more about how to perform at your best while maintaining your well-being, consider subscribing and following along.